Hi, good afternoon. How is everybody today? Before I start, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please comment below and let me know how you're finding my videos, whether you're enjoying them or not, or whether there's things that you'd like me to discuss or let you know about. Right, so we'll get started. I was going to talk about manipulation in abuse. And I find that a lot of abusers are very, very manipulative. They will convince us that they are madly in love with us, They tend to mirror a lot of the things that we will say. There's things like future faking, which is when they spin all these lies and they tell you about all these wonderful things that you will be doing in the future. So, for example, they'll take you on holiday. They'll treat you to the world. They're gonna get the stars for you. They're just magic, and they can just magic up all these amazing things. But they actually are so convincing and manipulative that we tend to fall for them. We tend to believe their lies. We tend to assume that this person must love us so much that they are actually promising us the world. They're gonna build us. One of my monarchs told me he was going to build me a townhouse in the town town centre. That was just after I got married to him when I was 16, and he lived in a very not well-to-do village full of mud roads. But he was promising to build me a townhouse in the town centre. So being 16 and naive, I thought, wow, that's amazing. And I thought, wow, I could do with the townhouse. The second narc promised we would go on cruises, we'd go on holidays, we'd have a house by the beach, because that's one of my dreams, is to have a house by the beach when I retire. We'll go on holiday. I just love the beach. So we're gonna buy a house together. The children can be at school full time, and then we can both work full time. We can both pay off the mortgage, and we're just gonna do really well. We're gonna have lots and lots of money. We can go on holidays. It's a load of it's not true. We know that now. Obviously, at the time we didn't. So a lot of abusers will do that. They will promise you, make false promises, and future fake, and manipulate the situation. So what I found was shocking, is that the degree to which they are so manipulative. Basic everyday things that you would not have imagined that they would manipulate you on, that they would try and persuade you to do things, all for their own benefit, to be honest. For example, the second narc was trying to persuade me to wear glasses. I hate glasses. I can't bear to wear glasses. I wear contact lenses. I have quite bad eyesight, and I wear contact lenses. But from years of abuse and being bullied for glasses and being called four eyes and all sorts, my eyes were quite a big issue, my sight and my eyes. And with regards to my eyes, I was called cat's eyes, Chinese eyes, things like that. And then with the glasses, the four eyes, and blind. So I just cannot bear the thought of wearing glasses outside. So I will, I'm better now. I can, on the odd occasion, wear glasses. Like, say, if I'm dropping the children off at school in the morning, I'm not quite ready yet, or if I've got an eye infection, or it's late in the evening and I'm really tired, I can't put my contact lenses back on, so I'll just wear my glasses. But he knew all this. He knew how insecure I felt, and how uncomfortable I felt, and how horrible it made me feel. Like, my self-esteem is quite low, and I struggle with my self-esteem and self-confidence. I can have all day, every day, people tell me how gorgeous I am, how beautiful I am, how amazing I am, but I don't tend to believe them. Like, I'll accept the compliment, I'll say thank you to them, I'll be polite about it. Occasionally, maybe I will believe it. On the whole, though, it doesn't quite sink in, and I still feel all the words and all the humiliation and the bullying and the abuse has left me feeling insecure all the time. I don't know why it's upsetting me. I guess. Right, sorry. So, but he was trying to persuade me, and he was doing it so manipulatively and so convincingly that I remember having a conversation with my niece, and I said, look, so-and-so's saying that I should wear glasses all the time. That actually suits me. It makes me look intelligent. And she said, well, why would you? You don't like to wear glasses. Why would you wear glasses if you don't want to? Just when somebody's telling you to. And it kind of made me think, actually, it's just true. I would I would struggle. If I started to wear glasses right now, maybe 10 years, 15, 20 years, I don't know. I might, even 5 years, I might. But at the moment, I don't think I'm ready to go around wearing glasses outside. But it's only just dawned on me that things like that, and the other thing that he was trying to convince me, well, he did actually convince me, was that I started to get white hair. And it used to annoy me, but at the same time, I used to actually enjoy sitting there pulling out my white hair, like just weird relaxation technique was sitting there pulling out my white hair. But a lot of people have said if you start pulling white hair out, then you get more. So what he said was dye it. And I'd never ever dyed my hair in my life. You know, I'm not the kind of girl that goes around dyeing and using all these hair products and things like that. So for me, dyeing was like an alien concept. But he convinced me that dye it then. You know, if you've got white hair, you don't like it, dye it. So I did. So I started dyeing it a couple of years ago. Little by little, all my hair seems to be turning white now. After I started dyeing it and it started turning white, and I sort of said to him, look, I've got so much white hair now, you know, it wasn't like this before. And it's like basically the entire roots all over my head just turn white, you know, it's not just the odd one white hair here and there, which is what it was before, and which is what, like, a lot of my friends have the odd white hair here and there. It is really bad, it gets really white. After I dyed it and it gone white, he turned around and said, yeah, but that's going to happen, isn't it? If you start dyeing, then all your hair goes white. I said to him, well, why didn't you tell me? You know, you're telling me to dye my hair. If you know that, why would you tell me to dye my hair? And he just chuckled to himself, or didn't really, you know, bother with it. Whereas he himself has got quite a lot of white hair. He's younger than me, but he's got quite a lot of white hair. But his hair is more natural looking white, whereas mine looks so unnatural and so terrible if I haven't dyed it within a couple of weeks. But things like that, it just hit me that these are all part of his manipulation technique. It's all ways to make me feel insecure and unconfident, because he knows I struggle with self-esteem. He knows that I've had a history of bullying and abuse, and things like that. You know, they all affect my self-image, my self-esteem, my self-confidence. And the other thing I'd say that goes in line with that is my car. So I have always worked since I was 14 years old. I got myself a job in the corner chemist, and I was working. And since I started working, I would then pay for my own clothes. I would pay for my own things that I needed. Whenever I've needed a car, since I started college, I brought my first car with my college grant. And then since then, I've always had a car. I mean, it's not anything expensive. It's not anything, you know, top of the range. It's just a decent car that I can get around in. He came along and I actually gave him my red Peugeot that I had. And that was possibly my favourite car that I'd had so far. And it was possibly the best one that I'd had. But he needed it to do his delivery work, because when we married and he moved out, he needed a job. So I got him a delivery job. And he needed the car. So I gave it to him, you know, without thinking, without anything, without questioning. I said, there you go, you can have the car. You know, I got a colleague to give me lifts in and out of work. I used to work part-time in Chalmers Ford, so I used to get my colleague to pick me up and drop me off when we had the shifts together, so that he could have the car in the evening for his delivery work. 10 years later, I brought another car because I was having my 8-year-old, so I needed quite a big car with a big boot. So I brought another car. I brought a Renault Megane. Again, it wasn't anything amazing. It was just a car to make do with, but it had a big boot, so it was okay for the time being. But a decade later, he refused to let me update my car. The car was reversed into by the student across the road. It was written off. There was a dent on the side. Most of the functions had stopped working, so the central locking wasn't working properly, one of the doors wouldn't open properly. So many things were wrong with this car, and it was falling apart. Literally, it was falling apart. And he refused to allow me to update my car. You know, I hadn't worked for 8-9 years, so any savings that I'd had finished. You know, I didn't have a regular income. I was using the tax credit money that I was getting from the government to help pay my mortgage and my own expenses, my car expenses, my contact lens expenses, clothes for myself, clothes for my kids, clothes for him, because his entire wardrobe I bought for him, because he would not go out shopping. He wasn't bothered. So anytime he needed anything, he'd either tell me, or if I saw that he needed something, I'd just go and get it when I needed, you know, when I was out shopping. So I financed myself, my own expenses, as well as his clothes and his expenses in that sense. And yet he, when it came to my car and I'd asked him, can we buy a new car? I need a car, I need the car to get the kids to and from school. I need the car to get Aslan to mosque classes, appointments, shopping, all that stuff. You're not going to keep running back and forth home to give us lifts everywhere. I need a car so I can do those things. But he just refused. And his excuse was that, well, we don't live in Afghanistan. You don't live in the Sahara Desert. If your car breaks down today, we can go and replace it straight away. It's not like, and he actually laughed about it and was going around telling everybody that, we can just get a car anytime she needs a car. But she's got a car at the moment, she doesn't need one. But that car was in such a state. It was so embarrassing to be driving around in a 2003 Renault Megane Scenic that was falling apart, was barely working. And he just refused. And it dawned on me recently that all these things are interlinked. Having a decent car, looking good, wearing contact lenses as opposed to glasses, dyeing your hair, all these things contribute to your self-esteem and your self-worth and the way you look and the way other people perceive you. And abusers, I've realised, try and chip away at your self-confidence, your self-esteem. They try and make you feel as worse as possible. They don't want you to feel strong. They don't want you to feel confident. They don't want you to feel beautiful. Because as soon as you do, then you realise how amazing you are, what you're worth. And other people will give you attention. Other people will compliment you. Other people will want to be with you. And you will realise that you're not as bad as they make you out to be. There are plenty of other people that would want to be with you. But they do that on purpose. They do that on purpose to grind us down, to make us believe that we are not worthy of anything, that we deserve to be treated the way they're treating us. Because that's what they want us to think. If we believe that we deserve this kind of treatment, then we won't ever want to get out of that relationship. We won't ever question what they're doing. They make us believe that we are the cause of our abuse, that we create situations where we are then abused and we actually enjoy it, or we actually revel in it, or we love to make ourselves out to be the victim. The amount of times, like, my abusers and the flying monkeys, even my own children have said to me, you have a victim complex. You like to make yourself out to be a victim. My sister, who emailed me some awful things last year, one of the things was, poor Asia against the world, boo-hoo, everyone's always out to get Asia. Well, actually they are, because I've been surrounded by narcs and abusers my whole life. Everybody has been out to get me, as far as I can see. When your parents, your siblings, your partners, your own children are against you, and they are either cutting you down or they are supporting the abusers and not stopping them from behaving the way they are, but in fact supporting them and encouraging them, or telling you you're in the wrong and you're the cause of the problems. What else are you meant to think? It does feel like your entire world is against you. And it's not until you cut out these toxic, negative people out of your life that you actually realise just how amazing you are and how many amazing people there are in this world. You have to cut out the toxic and negative people in order to make space and make room for the positive people. And once all of the negative influences, all of the toxic people are out, you will just realise, life is so beautiful, life is so amazing, and it's full of such amazing people and such kind, considerate, caring people that love you, genuinely love you, unconditionally. You don't have to be anything for their love and their support and their care, I can just be me, going on my support group, posting whatever I want to post, saying whatever I want to say. It's just so liberating to know that I can be me for the first time in my life. In 41 years, I can just be me, and that's enough. And we are all enough. We are enough for the right people. And yet, when we surround ourselves with the wrong people, the negative people, the toxic people, the abusers, the flying monkeys, the enablers of abuse, we are made to feel that we are not worthy of love and comfort. We are not enough, but we are. And the sooner we realise that we are so enough for us, for our children, for our loved ones, we don't need these toxic people. We don't need these abusers. We don't need these enablers and flying monkeys. Take them out of your life. Get rid of them one by one. Just remove them out of your life. First of January 2021, I said this to myself. I made myself a promise. I said, from now on, nobody gets to treat me like that. Nobody gets to talk to me like that. Nobody is allowed to make me feel worthless and useless and ugly and unlovable and old, because I know I am none of those things. And if anybody makes me feel negative or upset or hurt in any way, any slight, I'm not even going to give people the second chance. I'm just not going to give them the benefit of the doubt anymore, because they don't deserve it. Anybody who cuts me down, anybody who hurts me, anybody who swears or humiliates or abuses me does not deserve to have me in their life. I don't need these people in my life. I would rather be alone for the rest of my life than have negative, toxic people and abusers and their flying monkeys controlling my life and treating me like dirt, because I don't deserve it. I know I am capable of so much. I am intelligent. I am beautiful. I am articulate. I may not be highly educated to university level, but I was top of my class in every subject I went to. In everything I've done, I've always excelled. Whatever I've wanted to do, whatever I've put my mind to, I've taught myself baking from scratch, from YouTube channels and from tutorials and from watching other bakers and learning techniques and teaching myself these techniques. I could produce amazing cakes, and I could sell them. And I know I was so good at them. And anybody who sees my pictures says, wow, you could do that professionally. Yes, I could, if it wasn't for negative, toxic people always cutting me down. I've self-taught myself Hindi and Urdu. I'm a Bengali girl and I can speak Hindi and Urdu fluently. I can interpret for people in Hindi and Urdu. I can't read and write it, but I can speak it. I can hold whole conversations. I can go to Pakistan and get away and get on and not have any help and support or interpretation. That is pretty spectacular. Not many people can say that. So many languages that I know, like I've learned. I did GCSE Spanish and I got an A. I did Bengali, I got an A. I knew Latin at school. I did some German, I did some French. Anything I hear, I can pick up and I can learn really quickly. It doesn't take me much effort at all to learn languages. Not many people can say that. I don't know anybody else in my family that is so multilingual. Psychology, maths, art, anything. You give me anything and I can learn that. And I can learn it really well and I can excel at it. Because I am a bit of a perfectionist. I do like to excel at things. And I like to challenge myself. And I like to learn new things. And that's not a bad thing. That shows just how amazing I am. I do not deserve to be abused. I do not deserve to be treated like dirt and treated like I'm worthless and useless. If anything, it makes me realize now just how amazing I am and just how threatened these abusers must have been of me. My looks, my intelligence, my empathy. They must have felt so threatened and so insecure that they felt that they needed to grind me down and keep me down and hold me down, because they knew as soon as they let go, I would fly. And I would fly like the phoenix that I am. I would fly and I would reach heights that they could never even dream of. And I am. This is just the beginning. I am flourishing and I am thriving, and I intend to use it to the best of my ability and to achieve things that I never ever dreamed that I was capable of. But this is just the beginning, and you can do the same. You can reach heights that you never ever thought you could. Just believe in yourself, trust your instincts, trust in your abilities and your capabilities, your intelligence, your articulate ability. You are all amazing, empathetic, compassionate people. You need to learn to believe in yourself and trust in yourself, and you will do amazingly. Deep breath. Right, before I go, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please comment below. Let me know how you're getting on. Let me know what you think of my videos, and what subjects you'd like me to discuss next time. Speak to you soon. Take care. Stay safe.